So the concept began as a merging of three separate ideas to monitor posture, weight, and temperature. As we researched the market, we found that the failures of the Nike Smart Shoe, coupled with the market being dominated by major competitors and the high costs of fabrication involved for creating a shoe, ultimately proved to be too much of a barrier for us. After conferring with Professor Coffey, we ultimately ended with a sock platform. We then had to determine what features the tech needed. At its core, any design we moved forward with needed to be passive, cheap, outperform current tech, and have a customer-dependent algorithm.
So what iCore forced us to do was to really take a look and ask ourselves, who is the customer? And then get out of the building to determine if they were, in fact, the correct customer of who would buy this product. And what we found was that in our initial assumption of who we thought the customer was actually incorrect. And after speaking with a few mentors, we pivoted to a business-to-business and a highly selected business-consumer market. We then managed to obtain an interview with the UCF sports medicine team. We found out that they really didn't care about monitoring their athletes for sports and injury prevention. However, we were able to identify a few of their key pains. And from these pains, we suggested an alternative technology that we were familiar with and asked some key questions that created excitement within the team, which we would have never learned until we got out of the building to test our assumptions.
We then got out of the building and tested the health professional market segment, just to find out that there is indeed a lack of technology solutions for their practice. From this, we remodeled our customer segment into 3 market segments. Again, we got out of the building and interviewed these market segments and identified their pains. We tried to see if there was a product market fit with our value propositions of our technology. One thing that was unexpected was we were in a position where we had 2 separate customer segments, both requesting a MVP, one of which reached out to a sports company and told of our MVP. Which brings us to today, when the importance of networking cannot be stressed enough. Though we had several interviews where there was no lead, however, there were a few notable contacts who expanded our network to someone of influence.
Through the ICOPS process, we adapted our thoughts and pivoted to find the shortest route to market, eliminated the general consumers, and focused to a highly selective consumer market, while at the same time remaining open to parallel potential customer segments. Personally for us, ICOPS taught us the customer discovery process. It forced us to identify the customer needs and speak with the presumed customers to find out their pains and gains, see what excites them, and then to test if our value propositions created a product market fit. Above all else, it forced us to get out of the building.